Welcome back, everyone. It's a kind of cloudy, nasty day out here. We didn't work today. It rained us out earlier. So we're going to take this time to get our hog building ready. Supposedly, if everything works out, we're going to be getting pigs this weekend. We talked with the guy just yesterday and supposed to be getting them this weekend. So we've got some things to get ready here. Got Jacob, he's cleaning out the feeder. There's a little bit of old feed left in there. He's getting it out. And I've got to make some repairs. You can see that board right there. The big hogs last year kicked that one out. And they kicked this one right here out as well. So we got to get those put back. Now this building's been here probably, I want to say 6 years now. So it's had several pigs run through it. Now I do have to work on this door. I don't know if you can tell, but it will not shut. I guess the building over time has settled, and during the growing season of the hogs, I've always got it open just like that because, well, the pigs are coming in and out. The only time this door is ever shut is when they're little. I keep it shut to keep them pinned up in this spot right here. Now this building, the platform that this building is sitting on is roughly a 12 by 12. And I've got exactly half of that. So I've got a 6 by 12 actual building. Are you having troubles, Jacob? Hold on. Alright, we got Jacob fixed up here now. We got him some straps holding those lids up. Anyways, as I was saying, this building is a 12 by 12 and it's 6 by 12 for the actual spot for the pigs to go. And I keep them pinned up in here while they're little just to let them get used to us and get used to the place they're in, and you know they can't get out of this. If I turned a little pig out into the lot out there, I mean he's liable to run through that wire or get out or anything. So we give them time, a couple weeks anyways, to get used to the place, get used to us, and just get used to everything before we actually turn them out into their lot. Of course, I'm not quite ready to turn them out into my lot anyways. I still don't have a fence on the bottom side. And I'm planning on, while I've got the fence cut down, I'm going to cut down these trees. The last two standing trees that are in my lot here. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of explain my building here. I also have another 6-foot spot over here that's open. Now it's a little junky. It's a little dusty from the pigs. But that's a freezer, an old freezer that I keep the feed in. That keeps rats out and that keeps the moisture and the rain off of it. Then you've just got the rest of this space here to use if you're down here trying to feed them while it's raining or anything like that. And I like having a wooden floor in my hog building just because you don't have to worry about them rooting out of the building. I've seen people who have, and it's not like this everywhere, but I have seen it, a hog shed without a floor, and the hogs will root way down, and it gets kind of nasty, and water may run into it and pond up inside the building, and you don't really want that. And which I know a lot of people too who have dirt floors in their buildings, and that's completely fine. I mean, that's the way my grandpa and all of them done it years ago. But this is just kind of something we decided to do on our own. And I have, for some reason or another, the hogs, every gang of pigs we've ever got, like to use the bathroom in this corner. So that's why you see holes drilled in it right there. That's for everything to drain out, and it's not just nasty water standing in here all the time. And I have to constantly shovel it out especially when they're little pigs, to keep it clean. And when I built this lot, these posts here are treated, and that first board on the bottom is treated because dirt gets piled up against it, and manure and everything else will get piled up against it. And so I didn't want that to rot out. The rest are not treated, and they've held up just fine. The only one that hadn't held up is this one, because when that door is open, the rain is actually falling down on the door, and it just hadn't really held up that good. Of course, it's still fine. It's, like I said, it's about 5 or 6 years old. But we're gonna get started with some of these repairs here, and I just want to talk about what we're doing and talk about my building a little bit. So let's see if we can't get started. Alright, so I'm trying to navigate around all this mud. And that's one thing you're going to have when you have pigs, especially if you've got them in a cooped up area. You're going to have mud. So we can get this board beat back up in there. At first, all I had in it was nails, and that's probably part of the reason it pushed out. So I'm going to put some of these 3-inch wood screws back in it. I'm probably going to put about, I don't know, 3 screws into this one. What are you doing, wiping that down for me? When you put screws into a piece like this, a board especially, it's going to have pressure on it. You know, and when you get a 500-pound hog in this building and it pushes against those boards, that's a lot of weight and a lot of force against them. So if you're using nails, screws, or anything, you want to put a couple of them sort of at an angle, and so that makes it a little bit harder to push those boards out. I mean, it won't stop it, but it does make it harder to do. So that one should be good to go for now. All right, we got that one pushed back in on this part and put a screw in it. And you see what I mean about putting it at an angle? Uh-oh. Well, that's interesting. It broke that screw off. But if you've got 2 screws at an angle like that right there, you see what I mean? It would be harder to force that out than 2 screws going straight out. So we'll run one more into this. We'll put this one in at the top at a downward angle. Right out there in the middle, we got to push that in just a little bit too. It's bowed out. Jacob, you sound like a hog in there. do. And they're beating and banging around. So I believe that's it for the fixing the boards. Now we've just got to get that door to shut. But I wanted to show you my hog lot here, or my building, so to say. You notice it's off the ground right here. However, this building is not built on posts. Well, it is, but it's actually built on a 12 by 12 platform, sort of, and that platform was built like you would build a deck. And then I actually put the blocks and everything else under it. If you see that canned food there, that's some canned food we had that the seal went bad on, and planning on feeding it to these hogs when they get here. But anyways, you see the floor joist. There it goes, the camera zoomed. The floor joist under there, and it's built just like a deck would be. And then I actually built the building on top of it. And you know, I don't plan on moving this building. However, that gives me the ability, if I've got a way in here to lift it up and get it off of those blocks, I can move this building and put it anywhere I want to. However, I don't plan on it. And the platform was actually something that I already had from a different project that went on about 6 or 7 years ago. Something I had going on, and I had to have a deck for it, and it was a temporary thing. So that's why my building is the way it is. Otherwise, if I was building one again, I would put posts in the ground and wrap around that for my building. It wouldn't be up on a deck platform and sitting on blocks. However, I was using what I had already, and otherwise that platform would have been thrown away, and I wasn't going to throw away that much treated wood. It was too expensive. So let's see if we can get this door shut. Yeah. And we'll be about ready to get these pigs this weekend, as long as Jacob's about got that feeder cut cleaned out. Alright, so as long as this will work, I'm going to take this flat shovel here and just try to pry up on the bottom of the door and beat it shut. Because like I said, it ain't, for me, having this door easy to open and shut is not really that big a deal. I just need to get it shut until I turn my pigs loose, and then it's going to stay open the rest of the year. So as long as we can get it shut, we're in good shape.
We did it, Daddy.
Yeah, it's working. Maybe.
Hit it really hard. They hit it really, 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 really hard. Hey, look, I'm getting it.
All right.
Just need a little bit faster.
All right. I got it to latch. That's all I needed. So, anyways, like I said, I don't recommend doing stuff like this normally. Normally, if it was something functional that I use all the time, I would have never done it this way. I would fix this door the way it should be fixed. But once again, there I say, this door gets closed once a year while the pigs are in here, and it never gets shut again. So this works. And a lot of times when you're on a fixed time income, I mean not time income, but a fixed time schedule, you just have to do what works sometimes. And right now I'm running short on time, and this is going to work for me. So we'll get the feeder cleaned out here if I can get back in the building, and we'll be done. We'll be ready for them pigs on Saturday. Let me take a minute to tell you about the feeder here. Of my dad's building, he has more pigs every year. I usually keep 5 pigs, and Daddy does about 10 or 11. He has a 4-hole feeder. This one is what you call a 2-hole feeder, and there's a baffle right there that slides up and down and adjusts to allow how much feed you've got, allow how much feed comes down into these holes. And right now I've got it up all the way because we're cleaning it out, but when you're actually feeding these pigs, we'll let it down to where it's just a real small gap around here. And once those pigs, they lift these lids up with their nose and they stick their head down in there and they eat, and as they eat, gravity does its job and lets the feed fall down. And as I've said in a previous video, my dad makes these feeders. He's made several for people here in the community. So if anybody's local to the northwestern part of North Carolina and needs a hog feeder, or if you're willing to drive, if you're local to North Carolina or Southern Virginia, hit me up. He makes them. He makes a ton of them. He's actually got the patterns drawn out. They're there because I think he's actually got to make one here in the next few weeks for another fella. So anyways, like I said, hit me up if you need a hog feeder. We're going to get the rest of this feed out. There's probably nothing at all wrong with this feed. However, it's just been in there since last fall. And, you know, when you get your new pigs in here, I don't want to start them off on old feed. I want to start them off on some good stuff. This is not going to get wasted, however. It's either going to go to the goats or we're going to feed it to the chickens. So something's going to eat it. It's just, you know, I don't want to start my baby pigs off on some old feed. But anyways, we're going to get this thing cleaned out and get everything finished up here. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned a little something about a hog building. And I know it wasn't really that much information, but I showed you what we've got here and show you what works for us. And as always, don't forget to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. And we will catch you later. Thanks.